back, and you're listening to The Adam Harman Show on Talk Radio, 790 AM KABC. We're here again with Dr. Eric Pearl, author of one of my favorite books, The Reconnection. And for you folks out there in YouTube land, I'm holding up the picture right now. Bottom line on the whole thing is we have so many questions. We have so many callers. We're going to take one more caller, and then we're going to get into more things as it relates to the future of reconnective healing. But before we go there, who's our next caller? Our next caller is on line 3. It is Michael. Michael, you are now part of the conversation.
Thank you for having me, Adam Harman. Love your show.
Thank you so much for being on it. Do you have a question for the doctor?
Yes, Dr. Pearl. You started off talking about the death experience and things, and about how they knew everything and then they forgot and those type of things. And honestly, about 80% of what you were talking about, I experienced as well. About 3 years ago, I've got something called ankylosing spondylitis, and it was compounded with sleep apnea. And one night I went to sleep and woke up, I had the experience, woke up the next morning, chest was all hurting and everything from, not breathing. And except that instead of me looking at family and things, I was actually going through the cosmos. So it was a little bit different experience, but very, very close. And it's amazing to me because after that happened, I looked and tried to hear a lot of the different experience stuff. And the one thing I found missing in things is exactly what you said about how, you knew everything. I knew any kind of math problem. I knew any question, answer to any question at that time. And then I woke up and didn't remember any of it, And so that was very, very interesting. And so I really think you're right on line with what you're talking about. The thing for me is that when you're talking about the energy healing and learning how to do it, is this something that I would be taught to do for other people, or how does someone like myself receive it? And what should I, expect from something, with somebody that has a serious type disease?
Great question. And yes. Reconnective healing teaches you how to do self-healing, and should you so choose, teaches you how to facilitate healing for other people as well. And the good news is you don't have to focus on, think about, concern yourself with whether somebody else's or your own health challenge is a serious one or a not so serious one or a dramatic one or a painful one, or whether it's resolvable or not resolvable in medical or other eyes. In reconnective healing, we teach you that the less attention you pay to what the problem is, the better off you and that other person involved with you, if you're working with someone else, is, because the less likely you are to really influence or limit the outcome according to the limitations of what you believe may or may not be likely or possible. Instead, we teach you how to find the reconnective healing frequencies of energy, light, and information, how to feel them because they're highly tangible, how to play with them, and you start to see the response right away with people that you're working with in our training programs and seminars. So by the time you get through the training program, you have worked on the tables, I would say at least half a dozen to a dozen times. You've worked with people. We even bring people in from the public, so you get to facilitate your first, shall we call them, semi-professional healing sessions on people who have had no experience of knowing what to produce or what to expect, I should say, in a session. So you learn how to do self-healing, distance healing, you learn how to work holographically, you learn how to work with other people, and you learn how to do, of course, self-healing. And what we found is that as you choose to facilitate healings for others, you are entrained in the healing frequencies yourself, so you're receiving your own healing. The more healings you facilitate, the more healings you receive. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a little game on here. Can you see us?
I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot. I'm in
Oh, you're
Indianapolis.
not watching. Well,
I'm
you
sorry.
can
I,
you can listen.
okay.
How's that? You can listen, and for those
No,
watching,
absolutely.
they can watch. And I'm going to get a very unsuspecting young woman over here to scoot towards me for a moment.
The
Hold your hand up
unsuspecting
with your
woman.
fingers open.
There we go.
Got them here?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to bring my hand in by yours. Watch your fingers for me. I'm going to bring my hand in. You hold your fingers absolutely still. Don't let them move. No, don't let them move. What do you feel when I do this, if anything?
Energy,
Can you describe what it feels like?
light.
You see how your fingers start moving again? You see them curve in? Open them up. Watch them. See if you can hold them absolutely still. You can't, can you? Are you moving your fingers or are your fingers moving themselves? No one knows. Good answer, because it's a trick question. What happens is the body tends to respond to the reconnective healing frequencies, and because it's something that a lot of the researchers feel has not been available to us on the planet up until now, the tissue tends to shift to carry and accommodate for it, and the fingers moving is just the beginning of how these frequencies are working with the cells in your body. So when you learn how to access the reconnective healing frequencies, your cells are changing in your body. The light levels that your cells emit become more coherent, more harmonic, more balanced. And so the more you work with them, the more balanced and healthy you become, and the healthier and more balanced the people you're working with become at the same time.
Dr. Pearl, that makes sense because I can tell you there are certain things that goes along with this, like, for instance, iritis and different things. And I can tell you, all I have to do is think about it, and within a week or so, I've got it. I mean, it is amazing how cerebral this disease can be. And so something like that sounds like it would be a major help.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but that same thing happens to a lot of medical students. All they do is read about diseases, and they're all sure that they're coming down with them. But I know that I'm playing with you. I know what you're talking about is something different. This would be a wonderful help. Start, if you want, with access to the book. Or for me, I would jump and go to the online essentials course, which you can get on the reconnection.com. You can get it on the website and start to play with that. And if you find that it's taking you where I'm pretty sure it's going to take you, then I bet you that I'm seeing you in LA in May.
That makes total sense to me. I'm really anxious to look into it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for calling in and participating with us in today's show.
That
No,
was
my pleasure, Dr. Pearl and Adam Harman. You rock.
Well, let me tell you something. You rock for calling in. We have one more call, and then I want to be able to ask some really intense questions of Dr. Pearl here about, taking it forward and finding out about the future of reconnective healing. We have a caller. Caller is Jamie. Jamie on line one. Jamie, thanks for being patient. You're part of the conversation.
Hey, Adam, how are you?
I'm just fine. How are you, Jamie?
Good, very good. So, Dr. Pearl, I was wondering if the reconnective healing method can work for hormonal imbalances, infertility issues, and that sort of a thing.
Well, let me answer your question in a way that I would answer the question if it came in and if you were talking about not only what you're asking of specifically, but whether you were talking about measles, mumps, chickenpox, brain tumors, automobile accidents, or anything else you can think of. It's really the same answer. What the reconnective healing frequencies do is that they allow you to return to a optimal state of harmony, health, and balance. Actually, reconnective healing is not even limited to those things we talked about. It's not just about physical healing. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. It is about life progress. It throws you onto your life course even more rapidly than you may have even thought possible, evolving your relationships for you, your career, your prosperity, your abundance in all aspects of life. But what happens is it doesn't address any one symptom. It doesn't deal with diagnosis. It simply allows you to return to your optimal state where you are able to best deal with and harmonize and heal from whatever situations you're going through in whatever realm, physical and or otherwise.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, these have been some really great questions and marvelous answers by our guest today, Dr. Eric Perlman of the Reconnection. You know, we've got about a minute more to go. What's the future in reconnective healing, Doctor?
The future in reconnective healing is us. The future in reconnective healing is really recognizing, A, that it's not the future, it's the present as soon as we wake up to it. It's learning to see ourselves in everyone with whom we interact, and in that way we find that they see themselves within us. It's learning that everything that we are not benefiting from comes from the illusion of separation, and that healing comes from recognizing that we exist as beings of light, energy and information, love, prosperity, abundance, oneness, and unity. Reconnective healing will be, I believe, the new form of healing on the planet. And more than that, if I can step out on that limb, I believe we're standing on the precipice of the next level of human evolution. And I believe that the universe is looking at us to see if we're willing to take up the challenge and bring that evolution to everyone on the planet with whom we interact.
Now, that is quite a send-off. Dr. Pearl, thank you so much for being our guest today on The Adam Harman Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Eric Pearl.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have a magical and mystical guest here on The Adam Harman Show.